Hello class and welcome to week 2 of History of Psychology. I wanted to make this video to give you a couple announcements, explain some upcoming assignments, and discuss important topics that I would like you guys to focus on during this week. Okay, so this will be the first week that you'll have to complete a social bookmark. You will have to complete 10 social bookmarks throughout the semester. Each one of these is worth 10 points each, so in total, 10% of your overall grade will come from social bookmarks. During part 1, I would like for you to search the web. This assignment requires for you to search the internet and try to find content related to the readings of this week. So week 2, we're looking at kind of the early civilizations and what they knew about psychology. So topics could include psychology of ancient Egypt or the soul as it relates to Greeks. Literally, the world is your oyster. Anything that you possibly found that you in the reading that you thought was interesting, something that you would like to look at more, all of those things count. The second part that I would like you to do is really kind of the social bookmark portion. I would like for you to create a bookmark for 2 websites that you find interesting. What you'll need to do is write the title of the website or the article that you're reading. You're going to create a hashtag for that. So let's say you're reading an article about ancient Egypt. For instance, you could say hashtag walk like an Egyptian. It can be cute, it can be funny, try to be as creative as possible. And then I'm also going to be looking for a 4 to 5 sentence summary of what to expect if I were to go to that website and read that article. So on this slide, I definitely have an example of what I would like to see. So you will see your title. You will post the URL so I can go and find that website if I wanted to. I want you to come up with 2 to 3 tags or hashtags or whatever you want to call them to make it kind of fun, more clever, try to be as creative as possible, and a summary of what to expect on that site. Please know that your assignments will be scanned through Unicheck just to make sure that there's no plagiarism. So please, please, please just summarize what you see. You should not be copying and pasting at this point. Also, please, I already know a couple of you are going to miss this very important part, but this example is just one social bookmark. Each time that you're required to do social bookmarks, I would like you to complete 2. So you're going to be looking at 2 websites, 2 different URLs, 2 different summaries. You can put them right after each other. So you're going to be turning in 1 assignment, but please be aware that you're going to be looking at 2 different websites in order to complete this assignment for the week. If you have any questions about this, I have a detailed rubric on the week 2 module, or if you have anything more specific that you would like me to ask, or you would like to ask me, feel free to email me. I am happy to help. Okay, the second assignment that I would really like to throw out there is our psychological disorder paper. You might be wondering, why in the heck am I talking about this so early? I know that this paper is due Sunday, April 11th. I am letting you guys, if you guys turn it in by March 28th, I will read it, provide you feedback, and give it back to you by April 4th so you can make revisions. The reason I'm stressing this so much is this paper is worth 25% of your overall grade. As always, it's going to be scanned to make sure that there's no plagiarism. The reason I really say please start working on this as soon as possible is you're going to be covering a psychological disorder from really the beginning of human civilization until current day. So as you're reading things throughout our chapters, as you're finding things through social bookmarkings, as you're listening to lectures and the videos that I post, you can be working on your paper now. It's going to be easier for you as you kind of go throughout time in this class to really go throughout time on this paper as well. Okay, so this paper should be around 6 to 8 pages. This does not include a title page or your references, so you should be turning in roughly a 10-page paper to me. The paper should be in APA format, and I'm requiring that you have at least 5 outside sources. Outside sources mean your textbook does not count, but I would like you to reference it, but it does not count towards your 5 overall references that you use. You must choose a psychological disorder that is listed in the DSM-5. If you choose a disorder that is not in the DSM-5, you'll receive half credit. So examples of this would be homosexuality, sex addiction, Asperger's. There's a lot of these things that we kind of hear in the media that are not true disorders that are in the DSM-5. I want you to pick a disorder that is acknowledged by the APA. And this is a very big tip. The more obscure the disorder that you choose, the harder it is to find information concerning the history. So please choose carefully. So I would say not necessarily easier ones, but for sure you're going to be able to find a whole lot of information if you choose a big kind of disorder such as PTSD, major depressive disorder, bipolar, schizophrenia, versus I'm only going to look at multiple personality disorder. Though you can definitely find information, it's going to be a lot harder to get enough information to write a 6 to 8 page paper. But really, if you are interested in a disorder specifically, go for it. I want you to be able to learn. I want you guys to pick a disorder that you truly are interested in. Maybe someday down the line, you would say to me, I know I want to be a counselor, and I know I want to work with children with autism. Pick autism. Autism is in the DSM-5. Go for it. It's going to help you out in the long run. In this paper, I really want you to cover the history of this disorder. What are the implications of the disorder throughout time? How did treatment change throughout time? Did the name of this disorder and diagnosis change throughout time? You should be covering from literally as soon as people acknowledge that this was a disorder until present day. So let's say you choose major depressive disorder or bipolar disorder. If you really look at the chapter that we're going to cover in chapter 2, I promise you that these major disorders are covered as early as like the ancient Egyptians. So please, please, please start working on this paper now. As always, I have a detailed rubric and directions for this assignment in Canvas, in the assignments page, or as always, you can email me. Like I said, I really suggest that you guys start working on this now. Start working on it early. Get it to me early. I will proofread it. I will provide you all sorts of feedback. I will get it back to you so you can do well. And as always, if you have any questions, please send me an email. I'm happy to help. All right, when we look towards chapter 2, I've kind of mentioned it several times throughout this. We're really going to start diving into early psychological knowledge from the beginning of human civilization, so Mesopotamia, to approximately 1200 BCE. As you can see, that's a lot of history that we're really covering. The history of psychology in general is a pretty new field. So we're going to have tons of chapters that are over really just like the last 200 years. But chapter 2 specifically covers hundreds of years. We're going to look at what these early civilizations thought and believed in concerning behavior and its causes, cognition, emotion, and what the specific knowledge of that time period would be. So we're really going to dive into what the people in Mesopotamia believed, ancient Egypt, Greek, the Roman civilizations. What did these people believe when it came to psychology? Where was psychology housed? So this weird kind of little picture on the right-hand side of this slide is called an amulet. This is it was kind of seen as like a pendant that you would see around a necklace that ancient Egyptians used, and they would wear it around their neck as a necklace. Ancient Egyptians believed that all of their cognition, all of their kind of mental abilities were housed in the heart and not the brain. It's not until much later that people realized that cognition, emotion, all of those things happen in the brain and not necessarily the heart, the kidneys, the lungs. Most of these people believed that your cognition, all of your mental abilities were housed in kind of your core area. We're going to start looking at how did they get this knowledge and who were the people that made those early contributions to psychological knowledge. This will kind of be the first week that we sort of dive into names, people of power, who were giving people this information. We're also going to take a look at the role of religion in these civilizations. You cannot talk about these civilizations in psychology without also acknowledging the role of religion in them as well. So we'll take a definite look at Hinduism, Buddhism, Catholicism in this time period. We're going to look at how guilt and sin, specifically within Catholicism, affect our mental state. There's a huge portion on the soul and what it means to have a soul and what these people believed a soul was, as well as how religion views the life cycle of people. We are going to be covering a lot of information in different chapters about religion. Religion and psychology are very intertwined in a lot of ways, so I don't want you guys to be kind of surprised by that. Take it as you're looking at it as a scientist. We're not going to be debating religious topics, but we're going to be looking at it from a historical point of view. This is what religion looked like at that time period, and how did religion affect the history of psychology. So this week, what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to read chapter 2. I want you to look over the chapter 2 slides. I give you a ton of information on the slides because I know that you're not sitting in class, you're not getting a whole lot of lectures. So I put a whole lot of information on those slides. I posted a video, kind of the overall history of psychology. I want you to kind of get an overall view of what we're going to be covering this entire class over the whole semester. I would like you to take the chapter 2 quiz. I would like for you to complete a bookmark for the week. And like I said, you should be looking at 2 bookmarks and 2 websites. And I would like for you to start brainstorming for your psychological disorder paper. Start getting it down, make an outline, pick a disorder, and start working on it. As always, if you need anything at all, I'm happy to help. I will talk to you guys later.